Hello and welcome to Soda Anonymous. I'm your host, Soda Anonymous. Today's soda I'm going to review, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room first. I had to change sets from the previous room to this one. I know you guys have grown attached to the old room, so I hope that you can learn to love this one too. Moving on, I've got some fun facts here. Let's go over that real quick. Coke Zero Sugar is a 2017 rebranding and reformulation of Coke Zero, which was originally released in 2005. The goal of Coke Zero was to create a zero-calorie Coca-Cola product without any sugar in it that tastes closer to a real Coca-Cola than the differently formulated Diet Coke. Rather than replacing the massively popular Diet Coke, Coke Zero became the third major pillar in the line of Coca-Cola products, a middle ground between Coca-Cola and Diet Coke. In 2017, after 12 years of relative success, the line was completely replaced by Coke Zero Sugar, a rebranding and reformulation intended to bring the drink even closer to the original Coca-Cola taste, while clarifying itself to customers that yes, it has zero sugar. This relatively recent change was followed by some backlash from Coke Zero fans, with some even comparing it to the new Coke disaster from 1985. All right, well, with those out of the way. Now, first off, I've been a Coke Zero drinker for quite a while, since it first came out. I remember when it did first drop, my family sort of switched to it from Diet Coke, and it was a huge occasion to have Coke that actually tasted good inside the house. In terms of zero-calorie solutions, Coke Zero has always been at the top of my list. I think it's really good. It's a pretty fair approximation. Now, I should say that when they did reformulate in 2017, I do think that it is worse. It's sort of a contentious issue. Some think it tastes more like regular Coke, and some think it tastes a little bit more chemically. I fall into the later camp. And, it's unfortunate because Coke Zero used to be in my regular rotation, and now I find myself not reaching for it very often. I usually go for Diet Dr. Pepper instead. But okay, let's give it a fair shot. It's been a while since I've had this, so let's give it a chance. It's got the same sort of universal can design that I mentioned in the Diet Coke review. It's got the big splotch of red. The old cans used to have, much more black on it. And they also have to clarify that it's zero sugar. I guess not enough people knew that zero meant zero sugar. But, I guess that's just how it goes with branding sometimes. Well, anyway, I'm going to pop this open, and we're going to give it a sniff test. Gotta love that sound. All right. Yep, standard Coca-Cola color. It's got that brown syrupy look. Nice and bubbly, I like that. All right, let's give it a whiff here. Well, it smells quite a bit more like Coke than Diet Coke did, for sure. The sweetness is a little bit more subtle. It kind of smells like if you've ever had the Coca-Cola flavored gummies. It sort of has that tinge to it. On top of that is the trademark lemony Coca-Cola scent. I would say it's somewhere in the middle between the lemony scent I got off of original Coke and the strong lemony scent I got off of Diet Coke. It's sort of in the middle of that. But yeah, it sort of just smells like a flatter Coke. All right, well, let's give it a try here. Cheers. Yep. Now, I've been stubborn, I've been sulking at this new reformulation that I don't quite like it as much as the original Coke Zero. But in all honesty, it's still pretty good, you know. This is a pretty good take for a 0-calorie Coca-Cola. In terms of flavor, it's got the dark syrupy flavor from Coca-Cola. It's a little bit less strong, but it's in the same ballpark, the same vein. I would say the primary difference between the two is that it's got a bit of a linger, chemically tinged aftertaste with the sweetener. Not nearly as bad as Diet Coke, but it definitely has that sweetness that stays that I don't particularly like. But it's a fairly good approximation. Rather than stopping there, I've actually got some other Cokes I'd like to compare it to. We got your standard Coca-Cola Classic, and oh no. All right, I'm going to save the Diet Coke for thirds because I know it's not going to taste anything like them. Let's compare these two. Ooh. Yeah, it's fairly remarkable how close they can get. The full flavor is definitely bolder, more enjoyable, but it's pretty close. I would say it sort of tastes like, to compare the two, this one is fresh, right outside the can. And if you've ever, left your drink open and you kind of come back to it and you give it a taste test just to see if it's okay, it tastes like Coke Zero. It just tastes a little bit less fresh, a little bit less bold, and it's got that sickly sweet tinge to it. All right, let's throw Diet Coke in the mix just for fun. Oh, Lord, yeah. All right, well, I will say one thing. If you're a incessant diet drinker, you might be more used to a bitter taste, in which case Coke Zero might taste a little bit too much like the real thing to be enjoyable for you. Beyond that, that's the only bone I can throw Diet Coke. Diet Coke gets blown out of the water by both of these. And yeah, it's really nasty. I am gonna go ahead and give this soda an 8 out of 10. It's very respectable. For a diet drink, it's extremely respectable, honestly. Um, it's got a little bit of that chemical taste, but if you switch to diet sodas full time and you're used to that, this isn't going to bother you. And these taste remarkably close. Um, Surprisingly so, even to me. I haven't really done a back-to-back in a while. Um, they're both good sodas. It's just, this is the best, and this is an imitation of the best. But I like them both. Steer clear of Diet Coke, unless you already like it, you have a history with it, and you've lived with it for a while. Or if you don't like sweet things, then maybe give Diet Coke a try. But for your 0-calorie Coca-Cola needs, this is your guy. All right, well, that wraps it up. Do you remember the old Coke Zero? Did you find any difference, positive or negative, that you noticed? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you next time. All right.